I recently pulled what I consider a very underappreciated Pull 4/Series 4 card. It goes by the name Orka. It's a 6 cost, 9 power card that has an ongoing effect of plus 5 power if it is the only card you have here. So very similar to Namor, so it kind of fits the Atlantean theme. It has a ability where it has an ongoing effect where you want it to be the only card there. So there's a lot of different ways to utilize a card like this, and I hope they make even more cards that help utilize these effects because they're really fun effects. But even with that being said, there's still a lot of current good effects. So I'm going to go through the synergies that I think I found with this guy and hopefully describe a way to manage Orka and kind of make him playable. A lot of people hate on Orka, think he's one of the worst pull 4 cards, but I've had a good bit of success with this deck and actually just a lot of fun with it. So I'm obviously going to pair Orka with Namor, so even though I rarely will have both of these units out in the same game because that would take up 2 different locations, it's nice to have both options of this that synergize well with the rest of my deck. So the first thing I thought of when I thought of, okay, how can I make Namor and Orka work? And I've done a decent amount of work with Namor before. Well, my first thought was the goblins, right? The goblin brothers, father and son, Green Goblin. 3 cost, -3 power on reveal. Your opponent gains control of this. So this is a way that you can add to the location that Namor or Orka is on, but not actually hurt their ongoing ability because you're sending the unit to the opposing side of the board. That's a super, super strong effect. Hobgoblin does the same thing, but exemplifies it because he has -8 power. He's just super strong. So that's one really good way to make those cards very, very solid. And it's fun because Green Goblin's a 3 cost, Namor is a 4 cost. Hobgoblin's a 5, Orka's a 6, so you can hit these right after each other. I could play Hobgoblin on an empty location, then drop Orka. Orka's a 14 power at that point, and Hobgoblin's a -8, so it's a 22 point power right on that one location, which could be really good. Or even just Green Goblin into Namor. Really solid power, 13 power there, and you're filling up the opponent's board with a spot. That's great. The other option is, okay, if I can buff these locations without actually having a unit there. So that comes from Mr. Fantastic. Adjacent units will get +2 power. Obviously want to play Fantastic in the middle for most cases, and you'll buff 2 adjacent locations. Or Ulysses Claw, he is a 5 cost 4 power, ongoing the location to the right has +6 power. This is a way where Orka or Namor, just by themselves, can really beat some high ceiling cards. They can beat some pretty high power if they're getting the help of Claw. Claw will also provide 4 power to the location he's at, which helps you try to secure that middle location. So there's a few other tips and tricks that I've kind of seen with this deck. One really revolves around Nightcrawler. So Nightcrawler is a really fun card because you can play him at a location that you may ultimately end up playing Namor or Orka at, as long as you don't pile a bunch of cards on top of Nightcrawler. So I normally like to play Nightcrawler off to the side, and then I want to try to target one other location. So then I'll kind of pummel down one other location. I'll play the other cards that fit in my deck that are kind of just there because I need some cards to play, and they have some decent just value flat out. So that goes by Sunspot. There's turns where I'm going to be missing a mana or 2, so I can add that to his power, which is pretty nice. Scorpion is just a solid card for 2. So is Armor. Armor just really helps against other Destroy decks, so I can try to just stop a little bit of their shenanigans, or just protect my Sunspot and Nightcrawler, etc. So, or protect my Green Goblin and Hobgoblin if they're playing Destroy. That's a really good combo as well. So those are the cards that I want to play at one location, as well as Fantastic and Claw. I want to play those at one location, and then I want to win the second location with either Namor or Orka. That's the strategy of the deck, but Nightcrawler helps me do that because I can shift where I put my attention with Nightcrawler. There's one other synergy I found, which is the Hulkbuster. So I can merge, obviously merging this with Nightcrawler is great because then you have a 6 power movement that you could do. Kind of like Vision. You could actually put Vision in this deck as well if you want. Vision moves every turn, so you play him on 5 and then you could shift him around. That's a really fun synergy as well. I found that Hobgoblin just performs way better and Claw performs better for me. But Hulkbuster can just be played right on top of Orka or Namor if you need that extra power. So you just play it on top of Namor, it merges in the Namor, just going to give him a +4 buff, and he'll still be the only card there. Really fun synergy as well with those 2 units. And then finally I'm using Polaris just to try to pull some of the power away from a location where Namor or Orka is. Doesn't always work, but if it doesn't work, she's still a 5 power 3 cost, so she's just a great card. If you don't have Polaris, that's fine. That's the deck. It's super fun. I mean, it's one of the most fun decks I've had the honor to play in a while. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm going to show off some gameplay as always and try to really get Orka and Namor to shine. That's the goal. We're going to try to get these guys to shine in the gameplay, and we're going to jump into that in just a second. I just want to stop here for a second and say thank you guys for helping me hit 1,000 subs. We reached the YouTube Partner Program, so that's awesome. Very excited about that. If you guys have been enjoying the videos, leave a like, leave a comment, chat with me, leave a subscription for me, and as always, you know, we're going to be having a lot of fun in our Discord as well, so I'll leave a link to the Discord. We talk about Marvel Snap and a bunch of other games in that Discord, so we'll be leaving a link below for that. Let's jump into some gameplay right now. There we go, Scorpion, Claw, and Namor, and then we drew Polaris. I swear, the Icebox for me, personally, it always hits the one card that I would have been able to play the turn after it got revealed. Like, just hit Scorpion right now, happens every time the Icebox gets revealed. It like just knows. It's like, oh, he's gonna have 2 mana next turn. Let's smack that 2 mana. All right, we drew Sunspot. I'll stop crying. I like the Kiln. I like to play Namor on top of the Kiln because it looks like I'm not going to commit to the location, and then you drop 10 power on it. So I'm going to leave that open for Namor and see if I can sneak a win out of that location. That'd be pretty great. Not I have Claw, who could also boost that location if I'm a little bit behind. So I have Sunspot down at this location. This is a wild location. Got to be careful of that one. Fantastic would be decent in the middle, but I'm actually going to go ahead and just play Polaris on the left and pull over Okoye. So we're going to deal with this 2 power on this location, but I'm feeling good about what I have at that location. He's got Bishop, so I got to be careful because Bishop can get continuously bigger. But I'm still going to drop Namor. I think Namor's 10 power will be able to outscale Bishop himself. I just need to not play anything here because if something got put here and then moved on top of Namor, it'll turn off Namor's ongoing effect of +5 power. So let's see if Namor's going to be enough. He's got Khazar with 5 power already, so he's at 7. So I'm probably going to want to put like Claw or Fantastic down here to help boost that out. So I'm going to go ahead and put Claw here, and it's just going to, hopefully, he's going to play a lot of cards with Khazar out. So he'll probably get to +10. I don't think he'll get to +16 though. So we're going to win the middle with that ideally. And then I just need to win the left now. So there's a few different ways I can try to do that. Claw is solid because he'll still add 4 power. But I could also just try to win the right if things go a little bit weird on the left. Alright, so he played his 2 cards. He kills my Sunspot, which was only at 2 power, so it's not like the worst thing of all time, but it definitely hurts. All right, we drew Orka, so instead we're going to just rotate that and go ahead and drop Orka on the right. So he's like Chavez in a way. I mean, worst case scenario, he's going to be 9 power that I could even just add, but if I have a free open location, I'll totally just drop Orka right here and win that location. So I'm going to snap. I feel good about it. I typically don't snap in videos just because I want to see that, you know, the deck works, let the game actually play out instead of have like a bunch of early retreats and things. But I'm thinking this kid's going to stay because he's going to drop like 4 or 5 units with Khazar and feel solid about it. But I'm going to win the middle, and I'm hoping that 14 power on the right is enough to win the right. We shall see. If he has some really strong 1-drops, it might not be. If he has like Titania at 5 power, and if he has 0 at 3 power, etc., might not. But I do think he's going to have to commit a 1-cost card over here on the Icebox, because if he doesn't, I could win that location without him playing anything there. So I think he's going to commit at least a card here and then throw whatever else he has on the right. And I think that's why Orka was a great play. If I didn't have that, so he retreated. That's what happens. That's what I get for snapping. But that's okay. I think it showed how strong the deck was about to be. But if I didn't have Orka on that top deck, I would have totally just played Hulkbuster on the left and then probably Mr. Fantastic. Got to be careful not to play one of the goblins when their location is full. All right, let's try to get a little bit more gameplay out of this. Alright, we got Nightcrawler, Armor, and Claw, and Namor, so that feels decent. I'm going to go with Nightcrawler in the middle. We're playing against the Evil Duck Lord. Fantastic name. Love that. Alright, we got Metropolis. So the card with the highest power is going to have +3 power at this location. Not a bad location to play a card like Namor at. That being said, I have Mr. Fantastic in my hand already, and he's really good to play at that type of location as well. So I'm going to go with Armor in the middle for now. And Namor I'm probably going to put at the sewer system. So he's got Lizard, so I'm definitely going to want to fill up this location and reduce that guy's power. Everything got +2 power. Pretty good. So we have a solid curve. We got 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can play Mr. Fantastic here, then we can play Namor on the right, then we can play Claw in the middle, then we can play Orca on the left. We got a really solid curve here. I feel pretty good about it. I'm not 100% sure we're going to win the middle. If he plays something that is like above 6 power, he could win the middle. But if we can sneak a win out the middle, it's going to be huge. If not, maybe Namor and Orca themselves can just dominate the outside enough. So I'm going to go with Namor on the right here. He's going to have a good boost from Claw, and he's going to have a boost from Mr. Fantastic. And then I'll put Orca on the left, who will only have the boost from Mr. Fantastic. And everything's getting -1 power. So he'll feel okay on the left, because if he's going to try to beat that, he's going to have to do it with extra cards. Alright, so Namor feels good. I'm going with Claw in the middle. I drew Hulkbuster, which isn't terrible. But, you know, and that's something I could think about. If I really thought I would win the middle and the right, I could play Polaris on the left. She'll move an opposing card to that location, just kind of try to shove and lose the left side, try to win the other two. But I got Orca right now. I feel pretty good about Orca coming down and swinging a location. And I feel pretty good about winning the right side with Namor getting Mr. Fantastic and Clawed. I feel like that's a lot of sauce for him. He's got Sarah, so he's going to have a big turn. He's going to have a big turn 6. We're sitting at 20 power on the right side location, which feels really good. He doesn't have a whole lot of power at this location, and Orca is going to be pretty damn massive. He's going to be 15 with the +2, so he's going to, or sorry, 14 with the +2, so 16 but -1. So he's going to be a 15 power total on this left side location. He's at 6 right now. He needs to do a lot of work to win the middle, and he needs to do some work to win the right as well. So I'm feeling pretty good. But last game I snapped, the opponent retreated. I want this game to play out. I want to see Orca actually get his buff. So I'm not going to hit the snap button. If I was playing on my phone, if I was hanging out, I 100% would snap here. I feel pretty dang good about this. But I'm going to hope that he plays his cards. All right, he played his cards. So Orca comes down. It's 15 power on the left, which feels pretty great. He's got a Sentinel for 1. He's got Shang-Chi, which kills Namor, which is big. That's a big counter. And then he's got Killmonger, which kills just his own Nova, which buffs everything up. See if it's enough. He gets to 11 power and 6 in the middle. Let's see. The real Mysterio was on the right, so he clearly wins the right, but we hold it down. We lock it down with Orca on the left. See, I don't think a lot of people expect you to drop one card that's going to have that much power. Obviously Infinite can do that, but you have to televise that you're going to be playing him there. Orca just comes down and dominates the board, dominates that one location by himself. So great. Super strong, win that location. He committed to the right more, so he won the middle, and that's fine. Shang-Chi is a pretty good counter for this deck. You got to be careful. He can blow up your Orca or your Namor, but the ultimate counter for this deck is Debris, because she'll put rocks on your side of the board to turn off those buffs. We hate that. All right. I got a really good Orca win. I felt pretty cool about it. I'm going to be a little bit zealous and go for a couple more. Let's see if we get another one. All right, we got Armor, Polaris, and Orca. And the Eternity range. I actually love this location, so we can play to that to try to force a rock to get put on his side. Karmatage is there, which isn't the greatest location for this deck. We don't really have a whole lot that we care about putting there. But we're going to play a little bit into the Eternity range. So Polaris can't move Colossus, so I can just play her and not have to worry about moving anything. Although he reveals first, so I might move something if he plays a 1 or 2 drop here. But that's kind of the cool thing about Polaris. You can just kind of play her, and if it doesn't move anything, that's fine. It's a 5 power anyway. So Mystique copied Colossus's ability, so it's super can't be destroyed over here, but we're putting 2 0-power things over there. That feels pretty good. Got to be careful. We really can't play Green Goblin at Karmatage. If you haven't done that, don't ever do it, because it totally screws you. You essentially activate this twice, so it bounces to their side, and then it bounces back to your side. It's awful. I'm going to play Hulkbuster and Nightcrawler. Actually, you know what? I'll play them in the middle for now. So I'm going to play them in the middle. I can easily just shift them to another location and play Orca in the middle if I have to. It's the fun part about Nightcrawler. So he's getting 2 Sentinels in his hand. Maybe he's got like a Devil Dinosaur deck and Mystique is for copying that. Maybe that's what he was going for. But we're showing 6 power in the middle, which isn't bad. So I am going to go with Claw on the left. He feels good about something. I'm not sure what. Maybe Devil Dinosaur this turn, and then like Taskmaster is what he's got. up his sleeve? I'm not sure. Either way, I'm going to go Claw on the left, and it's going to boost the 6 power up. He's playing Iron Man on the right. I don't care about that. That's fine. He can have the right. I'm not even trying to contest it. So we're given +6 to the middle. I'm going to shift Nightcrawler over and play Orca. So that's a really fun play because you can just switch where you're actually giving that attention to. And now I'm adding 6 power to the left, and I'm adding a ton to the middle. So he's got Cosmo on the left, and he just commits to the right, which I had already given up on, didn't care about. So we are not worried about that at all. And we showed what we wanted to show. It looked great. I mean, we essentially got to play Nightcrawler and the Hulkbuster on himself, which is a great combo. So you have a 6 mobility, but Hulkbuster in general is good. Then you can just move him out of that location, replace him with Orka or Namor to get that extra power, and it's supported by Claw. So this location's 20 power by itself. I mean, just with Orca and Claw, not even there. 20 power. Really strong way to win a location. And then all you have to do is win one other one. So I completely gave up on the right, and then just committed to trying to win the left early. Got that rock on his side to slow him down a little bit. He played Mystique, which didn't make a whole lot of sense, but then he couldn't really have enough room to even commit anything else. So we got that win, got the middle. Felt good. Hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of faith in Orca. He's a really fun card. I love him. I'm going to play him a whole lot more, hopefully to high ranks, and prove the haters wrong. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscription, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on a ton of Marvel Snap content coming right out of here. Join the Discord to talk a whole lot about this game, and as always, keep on snapping.